research station in Antarctica.
The rift that's been in there in this ice shelf for a number of years has broken through another 18 kilometres and is now at risk of giving birth to an iceberg about a quarter the size of Wales.
Because of the danger posed by a giant iceberg almost the size of Greater London.
These ice cores is evidence of a cataclysmic climate shift which occurred around 10,000 years ago. The concentration of these natural greenhouse gases in the ice cores indicates that runaway warming pushed the planet into an ice age which lasted 2 centuries.
Antarctica, the second smallest continent on our planet, which remains an icy land of mysteries. Since its discovery 200 years ago, this region around the South Pole has never seemed to amaze the scientific community. But recently scientists and adventurers have been witnessing a fascinating, uncommon natural phenomenon on this icy planet, from a gigantic iceberg almost the size of Los Angeles breaking away into earthquakes and even mysterious discoveries. But what is the recent discovery that shook the entire community of researchers? Wait till the end of the video to find out, and we will also be sharing some other mysterious discoveries, some of which were hidden deep in that ice. Ensure you watch this video to the end, because many of them will surprise you. The first was earthquake swarms. Yes, you heard it right, earthquakes in Antarctica. When many people think of earthquakes, they envision the San Andreas Fault automatically, especially for those living in California. It is a significant fracture of the Earth's crust in extreme western North America. This fault is divided into 3 segments. The northern segment from Hollister to the Mendocino Triple Junction, the central segment from Parkfield to Hollister, and the southern segment from Parkfield to the Salton Sea, a region prone to tectonic plate friction. However, this time, there was no fire involved. Scientists discovered earthquake swarms occurred along the Shetland and Antarctic plates. The swarms lasted almost 7 months, from August 2020 to February 2021. During this period, over 85,000 earthquakes occurred. Experts believe this series of earthquake storms were triggered by the eruption of a dormant volcano. Discovery of million-year-old DNA. In the fall of 2022, a University of Tasmania and University of Bonn research team accidentally unearthed DNA from ancient microorganisms while collecting routine seafloor sediment samples in the Scotia Sea, some of which are roughly 1 million years old. The ancient genetic material was pulled up from depths of up to 584 feet beneath the seafloor and dates between 1 million years ago to around 540,000 years ago. In fact, the ancient sediment that was discovered is currently the oldest marine DNA known in history. Though scientists aren't certain which species the DNA samples belong to, there are speculations that they likely originate from a group of phytoplankton known as diatoms. The diatoms date back to the prehistoric age of global warming and could provide clues as to how Antarctica's marine ecosystems will respond to human-caused climate change. There are so many fascinating facts about Antarctica and its history, ranging from its flora and fauna to the midnight sun. One interesting part of Antarctica's history is the sinking of the steam yacht Endurance in 1915. It sank 107 years ago and was well preserved beneath the ice of Antarctica. The ship was crushed by sea ice and sank that same, forcing Shackleton and his men to pull off an incredible escape on foot and in small boats. The ship belonged to explorer Ernest Shackleton, who survived the shipwreck and later died in 1922. A South African polar research team discovered the ship in March 2022. Researchers are so excited not just about the discovery, but also about the preserved excellent state of the ship. A large lake was found beneath Antarctica's largest ice sheet. Speaking of million-year-old DNA, scientists recently found a lake in Antarctica that they estimate contains debris from over 34 million years ago. A Chinese aircraft detected this hidden lake behind a gorge beneath an ice sheet in the spring of 2022. The lake has since been named Lake Snow Eagle. Lake Snow Eagle was discovered while scanning beneath the ice sheet with radar technology. The discovery of this lake is particularly astounding given that scientists had been flying and using radar over the area for 3 years before its discovery. Creatures were discovered hidden beneath Antarctica's Larsen ice shelf. In June 2022, a team of researchers from New Zealand found an underwater ecosystem in a river beneath the Larsen ice shelf in Antarctica while drilling through the shelf and filming the icy water below. They observed a groove in the ice shelf and deduced that its unusual structure indicated the presence of a river beneath the ice, so they drilled further. The organisms were discovered roughly 1,640 feet below the ice's surface. Shrimp-like creatures were seen swimming around in their undersea environment. An enormous icefish breeding colony was discovered underground. Scientists on an icebreaker ship in Antarctica were astounded to discover the world's largest fish breeding colony by the Filchner ice shelf in the Antarctic Weddell Sea. It contained more than 60 million nests, situated 400 meters below sea level. They unexpectedly stumbled on the nests while employing a seaflow or tow camera system on board their vessel, which was primarily intended to study whales. The nests were spaced 10 inches apart and covered around 93 square miles. Each nest, which held an average of 1,700 eggs, was guarded by a parent fish. The images obtained from the camera system made the scientists believe that the nests were created by Neopagitopsis iona, a species of icefish. The area was also littered with icefish carcasses, indicating that this enormous icefish colony is an integral part of the local ecosystem, most likely functioning as a food source for Weddell seals. Logic-defying bottom blooms. One of the seemingly impossible discoveries was that of a phytoplankton bloom deep in the ocean. It was found in both Earth's polar regions. Scientists had previously assumed that there was not enough light in the water below polar sea ice for phytoplankton to produce enough energy to survive. But new studies revealed that algae can thrive with as little as 1% of the light available at the surface. While using deep diving floats to measure the amount of chlorophyll a pigment used by algae and other plants during photosynthesis, they discovered a high concentration of phytoplankton there. Undoubtedly, this discovery altered our knowledge about the factors needed to sustain life. Above all, there is still much to learn and uncover around Antarctica's home. The researchers suspect that a decrease in the amount and lifespan of sea ice caused by climate change could help sustain these bottom blooms by maximizing the amount of light they receive. Climate change is having a big impact on parts of Antarctica's ice sheets, leading to some of them breaking up. It was found that the world's largest iceberg, called A76A, has decided to leave Antarctica. NASA's Terra satellite also captured a photo of the iceberg floating in the mouth of the Drake Passage, a turbulent stretch of water in the Southern Ocean, as it began its journey away from Antarctica. The enormous ice slab is around 84 miles long and 16 miles wide, as the entire size of Los Angeles. Normally, when icebergs drift into the Drake Passage, they are quickly dragged eastward by strong ocean currents, before being whipped northward into warmer waters, where they completely melt soon after. It is unclear where A76A will eventually end up or when it will meet its watery grave. And the last discovery is completely out of this world. It was a space rock, an extremely rare meteorite that contains some of the oldest materials in the solar system. Scientists admitted they couldn't believe their eyes when they saw this massive rock. A Chicago Field Museum researcher by the name of Maria Valdez told the Chicago Tribune, she said, "We saw this one just sitting by itself in the middle of the blue ice. We all got so excited." The 17-pound meteorite, described as about the size of a gourd, was discovered on January 5th by an international team at the end of an 11-day expedition. This extraordinary rock contains material from billions of years ago and is one of the largest meteorites ever found on the continent. Scientists claimed it likely originated in the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. The team became convinced it had indeed found a rare space rock due to its unusual weight compared to a common stone. Though almost the size of a bowling ball but twice the weight of a bowling ball. Valdez told the paper, "The rock has a fusion crust, a glassy outer layer that slightly melted when it entered the atmosphere. It was also worn down, a sign it had been on Earth for many ages." The meteorite was sent to the Royal Belgian Institute of Natural Sciences in Belgium for chemical analysis. All meteorites have something to say about the evolution of Earth. Size doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to meteors. Located at the South Pole, the uttermost south of the world, Antarctica is an icy land of research and natural phenomena, and penguins. Cannot forget the penguins, and over the years scientists and adventurers keep unearthing more fascinating things from this deserted continent. Approximately 98% of the Antarctic territory is covered by ice, which leads many people to believe it is a humid place, but that's not really true. Antarctica is, in fact, the world's biggest desert. It is the driest, coldest, and windiest place on Earth, and because the average temperatures are so low, the water doesn't evaporate as much, which leads Antarctica to have the lowest levels of precipitation in the world. However, despite being the fifth largest continent, with a land area greater than both Europe and Australia, Antarctica has no permanent human population. So, don't dream of relocating to the region. What do you think about these discoveries, and what do you think this Antarctica splitting would cause much? Let us know in the comments section below. As always, thanks for watching our video. See you in the next one.